It's time for Tiger Talk on the Tiger Sports Network. Tiger Talk, live from the Golden Q in Hayes. The Golden Q, dining, billiards, and a whole lot more. 2 blocks east of campus. The Golden Q. If the game is on, we're open. Tiger Talk is also brought to you by these premier Tiger sponsors. Golden Belt Bank of Hayes and Alice, banking one story at a time. The Hayes Med Orthopedic Institute, expertise, technology, and compassion, all right here. Adams Brown, strategic allies and CPAs. BTI, your John Deere dealer in Buckland, Great Bend, Greensburg, Hoxie, Ness City, and Pratt. BTI, our family in partnership with your family. The Taco Shop, dine in, carry out, or delivery. You've never had it so good. G&L Tire and Automotive, complete automotive service and repair, and tires for all driving needs.
And a good Monday. Welcome into Tiger Talk. We are live at the Golden Q in Hayes. Good to have you with us here today as we bring our first basketball Tiger Talk of the season. Head women's coach Tony Hobson joining us. Men's coach Mark Johnson will be along later. Good start for the Tigers. Both went 2-0 in their challenges with, I guess, some of them were the Northern Sun, some of them were the Great American Conference. For the women, it was a combination of both. For the men, it was with the GAC, but good starts for both. We'll talk about that and a whole lot more. Both teams at home this week. The men will play on Thursday. The women have their little classic on Friday and Saturday, so a chance to see the Tigers in person. Again, we're live at the Golden Q in Hayes. We're here till 1 o'clock, and a reminder they're accepting applications for the fort. They're doing that here at the Golden Q, and of course they've got their burger of the month, the turkey jamwich. It's a really good sandwich, and then they also have their, check out the appetizers. If you like dressing with the Thanksgiving meal, they've got one for you. It's dressing in beer batter for the appetizer. Pretty good appetizer there. And of course, we're just 2 blocks east of campus. We'll have Monday Night Football on tonight. So if the game's on, they're open here at the Golden Q. Again, you can participate in the program. You can submit your question. If we use that question, you'll be part of the, I guess, we'll have a drawing for the winner of a gift certificate, $25 gift certificate from here at the Golden Q. All you have to do, go to FHSUathletics.com, the Fort Hays State Athletics webpage, and then you'll see Fan Zone. Click on Fan Zone. It'll give you a drop-down menu. At the very bottom of the menu, you'll see Tiger Talk, Ask the Coach. Submit your question. We use it. You'll be registered for a gift card from the Golden Q. Great way to ask that burning question you've had for Coach Johnson or for Coach Hobson. And with that, we bring in the head coach of the Fort Hays State women, Tony Hobson. Congratulations. A 2-0 start. Who went to St. Joseph, Missouri, and took care of business and got a couple of victories against Southeastern Oklahoma State out of the GAC, and then University of Sioux Falls out of the Northern Sun.
Well, we had a good weekend. We had a good weekend. I thought for no more game action than we've seen this year. I thought we were halfway organized offensively. Under control a lot of the time, and executed our stuff reasonably well, scored a lot of points, ran the ball exceptionally well. I thought got a lot of easy shots, and then we had good inside play, and rebounded the ball well. I thought overall it was a good weekend for us.
And you got to face someone other than an MIAA opponent. And obviously, the regional was different, but in the regular season, I think St. Anselm down in Florida was the last team that was not an MIAA school that you played, because last year was obviously an all MIAA slate. So it had to be a little different, but had to be nice to face someone not in the conference for a change.
Yeah, that's been what 2 years, 23 months ago. When we were in Fort Lauderdale. It's interesting to see these teams and see what they have. I believe Sioux Falls was in our bracket. The year that the regional got canceled. They would have been maybe our second round game if we would have got through the first round. I think they were the 3 seed. Sioux Falls and Southeastern both have Southeastern both have been regional consideration 2 years ago. Southeastern would have been in the region, or they were, and we didn't play, and then we didn't play. Same with Sioux Falls. So they were good. They were good teams. It was a good test for us. They're good and solid teams. They'll have good records. They both presented different challenges. I mean, Southeastern played small lineup, and really ran around the perimeter, and they could all dribble and penetrate. So it was kind of hard when you have Olivia or or Jesse out there trying to guard out on the floor, and then you have a couple four men that are better than adequate on the perimeter, but still not their game. So I thought we covered up fairly well, and made them work for their shots. Pretty good at making sure it was one and done, and they didn't get many follows. So like I said, I thought with Katie going berserk, it helps a lot. When you're shooting the 75% and hauling down a lot of boards, and it takes a little pressure off the perimeter game.
And with these exempt tournaments, these challenges with the teams in regions, we have seen the importance of those, and it's kind of it's right out of the gate. So that can be a challenge against a veteran squad, maybe an advantage there. But as we've seen, these games hold a lot of weight because you start with everybody playing a lot of conference games. That's the one, I guess, barometer how you do against outside foe. And in-region competition is a big criteria for the NCAA. So even though it's game 1 and game 2 at 28, these games are extremely important.
Well, they are, and a lot of times you get the last week or two of the season when they're doing the central region rankings. It comes down to one game, whether you get in, or it might come down to one win, whether you host or a seed that you don't can make a big difference. Every game in Division II is important because there's not going to be 5 or 6 teams from our league in the region. They're just not going to be. It's not like the NCAA, and we've talked about it before, where you might get 7 or 8 teams. A lot. One time they had 9 teams out of one conference. It's just not going to happen. So every game's important. You just have to bear down and really try to win every one you can. Kind of a dumb thing to say. I mean, like you aren't trying otherwise. But just because you can't say, well, these are just it's early and these are warm-up games, because they could really carry weight later.
Well, Tigers get the 2 wins. Obviously, Jake Hobbs goes down. We're going to talk about that after the break and how that affects the squad. But we'll take a break first. A reminder that Tiger Talk is presented by G&L Tire and Automotive. They got tires for all driving conditions and budgets, along with complete automotive service and repair. And right now they're having their great November sale. They do it every year. Great deals on tires for all driving conditions and budgets. So stop on by. That's G&L Tire and Automotive. They're just east of 8th in Maine on the bricks in downtown Hayes. We'll take our first break. Women's coach Tony Hobson as Tiger Talk continues here along the Tiger Sports Network, built by Paul Wertberger Construction. Saver over the left wing. Now Salek out high. Back to Bill Saver. Kate will drive in for the layup. Too strong. Rebound tipped up by Ruddle. She grabs the offensive board. And Lola Wagner scores and is fouled. A chance for another three-point play. Emma Ruddle kept it alive with the offensive rebound. And the Tigers score. And their lead has grown to 14. Now some of the action from Friday. Fort Hays State opening it up with a victory over Southeastern Oklahoma State, 81-65. They knock off the University of Sioux Falls on Saturday. Tiger Talk brought to you by the Hayes Orthopedic Institute. Expertise, technology, and compassion, all right here. The Hayes Orthopedic Institute, they're the official team physicians of Fort Hays State Athletics. Again, we're live at the Golden Q. Monday means the grilled cheeseburger. That is the burger of the day here here at the Golden Q, so stop on by and have yourself a grilled cheeseburger. We mentioned, I guess, the black eye, if you will, black ankle in this case, for the weekend was Jaden Hobbs, who went down with a sprained ankle. And you were commenting here before we went on that she had told you she'd never had a sprained ankle in her life, which is amazing for a basketball player because it's just the law of averages is going to happen, but obviously that changes the complexion of your team here early on this season.
Well, it does, and I suppose sprained ankles are probably the most common injury for basketball players. And boy, not having her affects us in a lot of ways, and they're all negative. And the first thing you notice is our turnovers, they balloon. I think the last 2 years when she's been running the show for us, I think we average about 10 a game, and so in a game that, I mean, it was fairly intense and semi-pressure, but not anything outrageous. We turn it over 19 times, and you we wouldn't have had more than a dozen with her in there. So that's the most notable area. And then she just always finds a lot of open people. Great passer, and her assists usually lead to layups and wide open shots. So, we just miss the floor general, getting us into stuff and knowing when to run and knowing when to slow it down. And there's nobody better in the open floor at running the break than her. She's the best I've ever had. She's the best in our league by far as advancing the ball and getting somebody a shot in the open floor on the break. So obviously we'll miss her, and I don't know how long she'll be out. I'd say she's definitely doubtful for this weekend, and we just hope that it isn't one of those lingering ones that last longer than what you think it might. And the other thing that is underrated about Jaden is in the half court, she's maybe might be our best defender. I mean, she's always in the right spot at the right time, and just has such a mind for the game that she has that anticipation factor that good defenders have.
Which is why she draws so many charges. I mean, she's in the right spot almost before the offensive player can figure out where they're going. And normally, this is where Sydney Galladay would slide over. We saw her do that last year. Of course, she's not back yet, coming off her injury last season. So I guess that's the $1 million question. What do you do at point guard now?
Well, it'll just have to be by committee, and a point guard just has got to get us into our sets. So. Lauren West can function fairly well there. Emma Ruddle at times is okay. They're going to have to be real careful, and part of it is they're just playing out of position. They're not used to it. Kate Dillsavers, she will be, asked to do a little more. The other day, Saturday, I thought since Katie Wagner wasn't doing anything else, that we would just have her bring the ball up. She's just mainly standing around and not getting much done, other than 26 points and 15 rebounds. So the way they were playing us the other day, which was curious, was they were pressuring the inbounds pass, and we would just flip it back to the four-man, and she could walk it up the floor, and we could run something. So that's what we did the other day. So we'll have 2 or 3 things hopefully figured out, some scenario of getting us into something and maybe even run different stuff. And luckily we've got enough kids that are kind of multi-dimensional that can handle it a little bit, that we'll be able to function. But it's like sharks smell a little blood in the water. They'll probably press more than they usually do and come after us. And I mean, I would. When you have your point guard out. So yeah, we're a little thin. Of course, I was hoping to have Sydney Galladay back by now, or at least in limited duty, and she's not. But we just, you have to play with the players you have, and we'll, we showed the other day, I thought our kids showed a lot of resiliency. They weren't just floored by, okay, somebody got hurt, okay, let's get it done. And you could kind of see that we weren't going to get beat the other day. took care of business, and we just dominated the inside play, and that's what it took to win the game. And while we did turn it over way too many times, boy, I hate to harp on that too much, because I like kids to be aggressive and try to make plays. There was just 2 or 3 that didn't need to be tried, but boy, where do you draw the line?
Yeah.
I mean, so I think we'll be able to, we'll do what we can and be able to handle it, I think.
We're at the bottom of the hour. Let's go ahead and pause 10 seconds for station identification. You're listening to Tiger Talk here along the Tiger Sports Network, built by Paul Wurtenberger Construction.
With a combination of Kaiser Liquor and Fort Hays State Athletics, you're sure to be into something good. Kaiser Liquor and 14 KAYS Hayes.
You're listening to Tiger Talk. We are live at the Golden Q in Hayes. It's brought to you by BTI, your John Deere dealer. Locations in Buckland, Great Bend, Greensburg, Hoxie, Ness City, and Pratt. BTI, our family, in partnership with your family. We're going to squeeze in another break. More with women's coach Tony Hobson when we return on the Tiger Sports Network, built by Paul Wurtenberger Construction.
Fact: 8th Street Liquor is where good times start. Next fact: 8th Street Liquor has the best selection and prices on beer, liquor, and wine. Okay, I don't want to bore you with all the facts, but the fact of the matter is, you just can't get better than 8th Street Liquor. Yep, 8th Street Liquor, where good times start. That's the fact. Jack? Oh yes, they have plenty of Jack too.
Post up Randall. Randall into a double team, finds a cutting Wagner, who goes in and scores. Katie Wagner with the bucket on a good assist, makes it 65-57.
Yeah, some of the action from Saturday. Fort Hays State defeating the University of Sioux Falls in St. Joe, Missouri. Welcome back to Tiger Talk. We're live at the Golden Q. They'll have Monday Night Football tonight, so swing on by. The grilled cheeseburger, the burger of the day, and, of course, karaoke on December 7th, a big contest, but they do it every Tuesday, so stop on by the Golden Q. If the game's on, they're open. We heard a highlight there from Jonathan. Katie Wagner, big day, 23 points, 9 boards, I think, on Friday, and then she comes back with the 26 and 15. We saw it last year. She had a good season, but it feels like she's just kind of elevated to another level so far here in the first couple of games this year.
Well, she has, and you always wonder, there's some kids that are just more comfortable coming off the bench, and you put them in the starting lineup, and you don't get the same results. And I think she put that to bed pretty fast, and showed that she can play as a starter in extended minutes. And she just plays with so much energy. She's got a great motor, and just goes hard every play. There's a reason why she rebounds it so well, and that's because she goes to the boards every play as hard as she can. And probably the biggest thing with her is I need to get her a little more rest, because, boy, when she goes so hard, she does get a little fatigued. But had about as good a weekend as I can remember somebody having for statistics, and probably has a good chance of being the player of the week this week, I would think.
Do you think so? We'll find out. I think it comes out tomorrow. We should find that out.
Yeah.
You get your first home games, and obviously with no Jaden, it becomes a little bit more challenging. But St. Cloud State, they're a perennial regional team. If they're not making an NCAA tournament, they're right there in the bubble, it seems like, every year. Always a solid program. And then Cameron on Saturday. So Friday and Saturday for your little classic. But this will be two really good teams and another challenge for your squad.
Well, St. Cloud was the number 5 seed at our region tournament last year, and everybody came back, and they don't have any of them sitting over on the bench by their coach hurt, so they will be formidable. They'll be a very tough game for us on Friday. I thought it would be a tough game even with Jaden, so it's going to, a little more added pressure on us, I think. And then Saturday, Cameron played 2 games last weekend, and I believe they won. They beat Adams State by 30, and they beat Colorado Springs by 24. So they're obviously good. Run dribble drive, and they're always athletic and really play hard. So it'll be 2 challenges for us. And again, we talked on Friday. You want tough games early, as long as you can win them. You don't want to overschedule, but you like to be challenged and see what your kids can do, and that's kind of how last weekend was. They were good games for us, and I just hope we can maintain our intensity that we had last week leading up. Like our 2 or 3 days before the game, I could tell we were going to be ready to go, and we definitely were. We just needed to play some games, and the kids were really excited about playing, and that's a big part of it.
Yep, hopefully that'll be the case, and figure out a way to overcome the lack of Jaden Hobbs out there, and it's a good weekend for the Tigers. I know the fans certainly excited to get to watch them on their home floor. Tony, we'll let you go. We appreciate it as always. Sure, it'll be an interesting week of practice, but have a good week of practice, and we'll see you out at the Coliseum on Friday.
Okay, thanks, Gerard.
There you go, Tony Hobson, coach of the Fort Hays State women. Again, they'll play at 6 o'clock on Friday against St. Cloud State, and then 4 o'clock on Saturday against Cameron University from down in Lawton, Oklahoma. We'll take another break. Tiger Talk is presented by the Taco Shop. Dine in, carry out, of course, fast delivery, 625-7114, or you can use the Taco Shop app. It's the Taco Shop. You've never had it so good. We'll talk with men's coach Mark Johnson when we return here on the Tiger Sports Network, built by Paul Wurtenberger Construction.
Ready to discover something new? The next time you're in your car, tune your radio to 94.3 FM.
It's here. It's Hayes' greatest hits.
Love it.
On 1400 KAYS and 94.3 FM.
94.3 FM, KAYS. Go ahead, check us out.
Arkansas Tech basketball. Talon Peter out high to Perry. Being chased as an alley-oop lob, and the Tigers break it up again. Deflected by Janssen up to Fittston. Now a layup. Good by Hamperian. And the Tigers lead by 10. Timeout Arkansas Tech. 7:01 to go in the game. Fort Hays State is back up by double figures. And some of the action from Saturday as the Tigers beat Arkansas Tech, backed it up with a win over Southwestern Oklahoma State on Sunday. Welcome back to Tiger Talk. We are live at the Golden Q. The grilled cheeseburger is the special here today, and the program also brought to you by Adams Brown, where they do more than just run numbers and file tax returns. They work hard to become strategic allies. Adams Brown, strategic allies, and CPAs. We're joined now by men's coach Mark Johnson. I'm going to throw this out there, but if you can lead wire to wire the rest of the year, I think you're going to have a great season because your first 2 games you've never trailed. That's a great formula.
Yeah, it's funny how that works, huh? You score more, you tend to have more points than the other team, you're usually going to win. But, good weekend for us. I thought, really throughout both games, but definitely the first half of both games, we guarded as well as we have in years. I think we got a little bit better size, and like I always talk about size, we're not talking about size up front. You're talking about just size all across the board, 2-man, 3-man. Last year Alvin was 6'1.5", and right now, Gabe's starting for us, he's 6'5". That's a huge difference. Like I said, the difference between 6'1" and 6'5" is 4 inches. Well, that's the same as 6'7" against 6'11", and we all recognize the difference there. And just have more guys that can athletic, play hard, compete, and did some good things. Obviously, besides the defense, we just were tremendous on the glass this weekend, dominated the glass. B had 12 rebounds the first game. Jared 17. I don't even know what's the score. I'm sure it's in the 20s.
I need to go. I have not had a chance to look at that, but I was wondering the same thing.
But they're very impressed. I mean, we just we're limiting the other team to 1 shot. We're just getting ourselves a lot of opportunities. Jeff, at times, I don't know statistically if it showed how many rebounds. The rebounds might not, but how many balls did he tip out that we got second chance opportunities that maybe statistically don't go down as an offensive rebound. But Gabe, same way. I mean, just really overall and did some good things. Offensively, like I always say, your defense is always ahead of your offense. I thought we shot it fairly well from the perimeter against Arkansas Tech. Did not shoot it very well in the perimeter. So, we won pretty good. Obviously Sunday we won fairly easy, and they made it close, and we responded in the first game, but ended up winning by double figures, and don't feel like we played great offense, where last year, I felt like we had to beat you offensively. We had to out-offense you, and this year, you can win. Like I tell our guys over at home, just man up, play really hard, be physical, guard, dominate the glass, don't turn it over, and you're probably going to beat 90% of your opponents. Now on the road, Offensively, he's got to contribute to that at home against a couple teams. Then you got to play good offense too. But I thought that formula worked, and hopefully we continue to get better offensively, and I think we will.
Well, Jared was held kind of in check, and a lot of it, he got the ball. He was a magnet. There were 2 and 3 Arkansas Tech players around him. Didn't quite see that by the way they run defense, but I know he's been bothered by that shoulder injury he suffered in the scrimmage, but he looked like the old Jared. Looked like he's figured out how to play with that, maybe feeling better, but that looked like the Jared Vitston we've seen the last couple of years.
Yeah, I agree. He got hurt in our first scrimmage right out of the sprained his shoulder, and again, it maybe had been better if he just would have shut it down. I think he practiced through that whole time. And, when it gets hit, it hurt. It was hurting bad. And so I think, like I said, that first game, like you said, they sent 3 guys. He had no chance. They were sending the house to him, and that's how we opened up. Probably the reason we shot it better. He was getting everybody open shots. But I think it took that first game to start figuring out that shoulder's getting better. It's not hurting as bad. Even when he got hit, it's not as bad. And then I think you saw the response on Saturday. He just kind of played freely and forgot about it. And I thought both games, those were grown men out there now. And we rebounded and were, against big, physical, some athletic teams. It wasn't just like a bunch of undersized guys out there. It's kind of interesting to me, and I hope it stays this way. I like it, but I've never seen a memo. I've never seen any emphasis this year from officiating or anything. I thought our 3 scrimmages and now these first 2 games, it's a lot more physical than it's been over the last few years. Like I said, I hope it stays that way. It allows your players to stay in the game. And, we're one of the few sports where fouls cause guys to sit out. A lot of other sports, it might cost your team 10 yards, 5 yards, 15 yards. I mean, now I know now they have the targeting, and that's changed a little bit, but it's just you get 2 fouls in the first half. A lot of times you got to sit, or 3, 4, so it's just nice where your best players get to decide the game, not the officiating at times putting your better players on the bench. So it was good for us, and we're a lot more physical this year.
Well, and I thought you had an interesting comment after the game yesterday about kind of finding Fort Hays State's basketball, finding your identity back, and you look at your successful teams that you've had, good rebounders, tough, physical inside, find a way offensively to get it done, and I think this team maybe has a chance to be a little bit better offensively than some of them, but it's kind of in the identity. You saw, we heard that highlight, breaking up an alley-oop. You did that a couple of times against Arkansas Tech. Really good around the basket, really good going for the ball, but you could see that physical play. Certainly didn't back down from anybody.
Yeah, no question, and I think that, you hope that'll continue. I think it will, and the game has changed over the last few years, and it's become a skill game. You have to have big guys that space out the floor and shoot threes and do all these things. The game, it's not more just throw it into a big center, play power ball. Well, when you start, so a lot of times more skilled guys might lead to less physical play, might lead to less athleticism. So it's really you try to find that balance of, you're still going to have skilled guys, but it's harder to find the guys that have that kind of skill, yet that kind of physicalness, toughness, and want to play. And if they do, they're rare and they're hard to get at our level. They're hard to get to Division II. So I think we're really fortunate right now. We have kind of that balance of skill, yet these guys are old school as far as physicality, will play hard, will compete, and understand the defensive. And again, it's one weekend, so you don't want to put, you are, like I tell our guys, you are what you are that day, not what you were yesterday. So, but I would be disappointed if this group doesn't continue to play hard. I mean, a lot of those got Gabe, Caleb, B, Jeff. I mean, that's just everyday things from them. And I think Jared's was gotten improved defensively. I think Nige and Quentin were better, and we got a guy still out, Elijah, that if he does nothing else to help us, I do think effort and toughness will continue to improve with him, because he falls in line with some of those guys I mentioned. He's going to play hard. He's going to be physical. He's going to be one of the tougher guys on the court.
And of course, he had to sit out last year, and then he sprains his ankle in that scrimmage you had with Chadron State. Notice he was not wearing the boot on the bench on over the weekend. What's his stat? Where's he at? Or is there a time frame yet? How's his progress?
Well, really, this week's going to determine a lot. He's out of the boot. They're moving up activity. They're putting more stress on his ankle. It really just, how does it respond? If it doesn't swell up and have a negative reaction to pushing it a little harder, I think we're hoping, in a perfect world, I don't know if there's ever, with these ankles, you can't really say 100%. I think it would really be good. I think we play Manhattan Christian like November 28th, which is one game before we start conference at Washburn. It would, I think we're striving to see maybe we can get him some playing time that game and before we play conference, but you never know. I mean, it might be earlier, it might be later, but I think right now but this week will determine a lot of that, like I said, how he responds to the increased activity on it.
You had to play because of injury and Elijah having to sit out last year. You had to play some true freshmen, probably more minutes and a lot more than you would traditionally like to, and at times there were some growing pains, but I think you're seeing the dividend now with Caleb and Quentin and even some of those other guys getting that experience. I just thought there were situations where last year they may have, and panic's not the right word, but they look like freshmen.
Yeah.
Where you could see them stay calmer, and you still got a good look, and the shot clock was winding down, and still did what you're asking them to do.
Oh, yeah. I mean, you got to, like I said, experience pays dividends. Look at all of our guys. I mean, we'll go back to Jared. I mean, Jared has just become just a great player. And as a freshman, even as a red shirt freshman, was really a minimal part of the team. Where Caleb and Quentin, not only did they have to play the whole time, they have to have the ball in their hands because they're point guards. They're the guards. I mean, you look at all of our Brady. I just go down the line. You look at B now, how he's improved. They were just asked a lot last year, and that's honestly we were excited about last year. We thought we would had a chance, but we got slowed down with injuries and didn't get off to the start that you hoped. But I think honestly, when you look at it, we got off to the start that probably was going to happen. Mm-hmm. But again, it paid off, and I think we're better for it this year. The confidence of Caleb, of Quentin and those guys. I mean, they're out there playing, and they're still young guys, but they're not nervous. They're playing. Hey, everybody's still going to make mistakes, but I don't think we're making mistakes because of intimidation, scared, inexperience. We're just, they're ready to play and go at it, and those guys are athletic. I think we had to get bigger and we had to get more athletic. You look at some of our previous teams, and Caleb and Quentin are pretty athletic, quick guys out on the floor.
You mentioned Beyonce Jansson. I thought had a good year last year, but boy, especially the second half on Saturday, he was fun to watch and looked like he became a little bit more of a focal point defensively for Southwestern Oklahoma State, but deceptively athletic, and he's. You see him and you don't think he's as tall as he is until you get out there on the floor, but boy, he's off to a really nice start.
He is, yeah. I mean, he's 6'7". I mean, you know what I mean? He's all of it, and you're right. I mean, sometimes guys, I don't know what's their frame, a lot of guys, you get 20 feet away and you think how tall they are, and you walk up on them, they shrink. And then there's other guys, like from a distance, then you keep walking up on them like, man, this guy just keeps growing, and B's that way. But yeah, he played really hard. B's very athletic. I would say he's not a high flyer, but as far as quickness and speed and getting to a ball and reacting, he's as quick as any 6'7" guy out there. Same way with Caleb at times. Like I said, sometimes in warm-ups, if you don't pay it, like all of our guys can tear the goal down, but you may look in warm-ups and not think we're very athletic, but we're pretty athletic. We're a lot more athletic than what people think we are, and B and Caleb are a big part of that. But yeah, B's playing. He's just more confident. He's sure of himself. He's aggressive when he catches the ball. And he played great on Saturday. And then Sunday, like I said, he just got in fight. He got a couple fouls. He had to sit out. Then he comes right back. I think the first play of the second half, made a great move, scored, and then he came right down. And he got called for his third foul. So I mean, the fouls kind of derailed him. But overall, really happy to have him. He played well, and he's a great guy, and he plays really hard.
Well, the Tigers got a couple of wins Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, and it doesn't get any easier. They're back at home Thursday. It's only the 5th-ranked team in the country coming to town, the Colorado School of Mines Ore Diggers. We will take a break. We'll talk about that game. We'll remind you that Tiger Talk is presented by Golden Belt Bank of Hayes and Ellis, here to make every story shine brighter. It's the way they do banking, one story at a time. You can check them out at goldenbeltbank.com. We'll take a break. We'll preview Colorado School of Mines when we return here on Tiger Talk. We're live at the Golden Q on the Tiger Sports Network, built by Paul Wurtenberger Construction.
That was another legend on 99 KZ Country. And yes, before that, we had a brand new artist. Your home for today's stars and the legends. We play real country. I'm Teresa Trapp. Weather, news, sports, it's all here. We're on Facebook, and there is a listen live link at hayespost.com. Dial us in on your radio at 99.5 FM. KHAZ, Real Country. 99 KZ Country.
Caleb brings it up top of the circle. Now to Vichtam on the left elbow. Hands it off to Caleb. Nice scoop move. And put it off the glass with the left hand. Caleb Hammocky with 11. Oh, that was pretty. 52-28 Tigers. Yeah, Caleb Hammocky finished with 13 points, 6 boards, 4 assists yesterday. And the Tigers win over Southwestern Oklahoma State. Welcome back to Tiger Talk. We're live at the Golden Q. The grilled cheeseburger is their burger today. Of course, they've got the great monthly specials. It is the turkey jamwich. Come try that out here through the month of November, and they've got a great appetizer. It's if you like the dressing with your Thanksgiving meal, they've got that in beer batter, deep fried. Right, there you go. It's pretty tasty. So check that out here at the Golden Q. Kind of felt like a conference weekend in a way. You had Coach Downey, and his system was a lot like we saw Northeastern State, and Terry Evans felt like just another version of Central Oklahoma out there. It's kind of funny. I know you talked about when you signed this deal, this 14, they weren't there, but it's kind of got a little MIAA feel to it.
Yeah, it did. I mean, yeah, and they played the same way they did back then. I mean, it probably helped us a little bit having some familiarity, comfort level of playing against them, and both highly successful coaches have won a lot of games. And it's like Terry was telling me before. He's like, hey, before we joined the MIAA at Central Oklahoma, when I was a coach at Central Oklahoma, we made the NCAA tournament 7 out of 9 years, and then we got in there and they're still waiting. So, good coach has done really, really well.
That's a tough conference. We certainly know that, and you'll get another tough test on Thursday night. Colorado School of Mines coming to town. They've been to an Elite Eight under Coach Orser. They're always contending for NCAA tournament, usually make it. It's amazing when Fort Hays was in the RMAC, they were middle of the pack to low, and how they've turned it around. You've seen they're a playoff team in football. They've really done a good job of, I guess, using their school as a recruiting advantage, and they've been really, really good.
They have, and I'm going to give Pryor credit. He's done a tremendous job. I think when he took over they've obviously put money into the program. You look at their arena now. Before it was a glorified junior high gym, and now they got a nice arena. They're funding the program, fully funded, and all that. And then you're in Golden, Colorado, and then you use that engineering degree. I mean, they're one of the D2s at times that can beat a Division I because you can throw in that education part of it, that engineering that a lot of schools don't have. They've done well. They made the Elite Eight last year. They got 4 of their 5 starters back from a year ago. Thing's going to be a challenge. He does a great job of taking advantage of size, and they're a big team, but we go back to the backcourt. They're going to start a 6'3" point guard and a 6'5" 2 guard, and they're going to post our little guards at times, and that'll be the big challenge. And then defensively, they're just solid. They're going to do right. They're going to make you earn every basket. They're just a really well-coached team.
And as could be a big game. I know they're not in your region. However, you got to figure they're going to be there at the end. They're going to have a good strength of schedule. Hopefully, if it goes the way the Tigers are hoping, this could be a very important game when we start looking at things in March.
It does, yeah. They can have a meeting, and for March, it does count.
That's
as
right.
It
does because they're right next to you.
Because you're, besides the conference exempt tournaments, you got to play someone. But these games connecting count as a regional game.
Right.
So this could be a big factor if we're good enough to be considered. This would be a big feather in our cap.
Well, hopefully it's another good day, a fun start to the season, and should be a fun one on Thursday night. Coach, as always, we appreciate it, and we'll see you Thursday.
All right, thanks, Gerard.
That's Mark Johnson, coach of the Tigers. Again, that'll be a 7 o'clock tip at Gross Coliseum. We're on the air at 6:30 with the Auto World pregame show. Then the women play 6 o'clock on Friday against St. Cloud State, and then 4 o'clock on Saturday against Cameron. We'll have them all right here on the Tiger Sports Network and over on Tiger Radio Mix 103. Tiger Talk brought to you by Golden Belt Bank of Hays and Ellis, Adams Brown, the Taco Shop, BTI, the Hayes Orthopedic Institute, and G&L Tire and Automotive. And, of course, it is also brought to you by the Golden Q. We'll be here back on Monday, so join us, 12:15 until 1 o'clock. Golden Q, the home of Tiger Talk. For Tony Hobbs and Mark Johnson, Gerard Welbrock, so long, everyone.